720. It's a little bit newer of a version than a lot of people have, I think. It has a i7-4790 in it. And it came with just a regular stock Intel cooler, like the normal type. It wasn't a blower or anything. Did have a little shroud around it that blew the air out the back, but I replaced it with this low profile Noctua cooler. It's the taller of the low profiles, and then I put an 80 mil Noctua up here in the front. I put a Gigabyte Windforce 1650 GDDR6 version graphics card in here. I had to put this graphics card in the X4 slot because the X16 slot is on the bottom, and since this is a dual slot card, it would have hit the power supply. But I ran some benchmarks with the riser cable from the 16 slot, and maybe it's a 16 long, but it's only by 4 or something. The lanes go into it. I guess that's possible. But I ran benchmarks in both of them, and it's working perfectly. And like the exact same. Some of my benchmarks are even higher in the by 4. So that's what I've got going on there. There's some heat though. There's only like 3/8 inch of a gap right here, so it gets hot. Thinking about getting some maybe 60 millimeter fans, maybe putting some maybe a little bit stronger fans in here on this card. And then also what I've done is I'm throwing 3 40 mil Noctua fans across the back here to exhaust the air out. I had 2 in, and it worked, but it looked like I had just enough room I could fit a 3rd one in there. And now that I'm trying, I have like exactly 40, 80, 120 millimeters, like exactly, and then it rubs on this right here when I go to try to put it in there. Well, see, like it fits, but you know, so what I'm going to try to do is just cut the edge of this off there, and hopefully it doesn't screw anything up. Also, what I've done, I put it come with a, I think 120 terabyte Intel SSD. I got a pack of 10 250 gigabyte SSDs, so I threw one of those in there, and then I swapped out the DVD drive for a Blu-ray drive because it's my home theater PC. And then one last thing I'm thinking about doing is taking and cutting a hole in here and maybe put a fan grill on just to get a little more air in there to the CPU. I mean, I definitely can't put a fan on there because you can't get the perspective really from here, but it's there, it's inside of there, like it's touching, so it doesn't matter how thin of a fan I got, it wouldn't fit unless I mounted it on the outside, which that might be kind of cool. But it's my home theater PC, you know. I want it to be really quiet, and right now it is. And I feel like if I cut another hole in here, it'll still probably be really quiet, just because I mean that Noctua cooler is not going to get very loud, I don't believe. And these 40 millimeter fans, I know sometimes small fans are kind of windy and loud. You can't even hear these things run. These are the thicker versions. They've got the, I think, 10 centimeter wide, 10 millimeter, and 20 millimeter. I got the 20 millimeter. I think these are probably more for static pressure than airflow. And I think that's pretty apparent. It doesn't feel like they're really moving that much air. Look at the hub on that. But the fan blades are so aggressive. They're almost not like fan blades. They're like air vanes. So it's almost like a hybrid, like a turbine, you know, blower, kind of, more than a fan. But it does move air, you know. I'm sure more than if I had nothing here. So So now I'm gonna try to cut this puppy. Just trim off 1/8 of an inch or something off of it. Hopefully without destroying anything or making like the whole assembly fall apart. Okay, those dikes aren't working good. Maybe these bulldogs. It's cutting. Okay. Now, I don't want metal to fall down inside of here. That would suck. Okay. Got a chunk of plastic there. Yeah, that looks just awful, doesn't it? Just gotta keep going. After I'm done cutting this, I'm gonna blow it out with some air. Metal shards. Get those away from here. Shit. I wish we could get this thing to come out just a little bit further so I can cut down from the other direction. I might do that. I just kind of want to get this piece off. And I want a piece of plastic, hopefully not any metal. And now I'm seeing all these metal shards and I'm looking at all these little SMTs on the board and stuff, and I'm almost positive now something's going to short out. And there's no way it doesn't. And that would suck. Hopefully enough duster will do the trick. Okay, let's see if I spin that forward a little and then get my snips on it. Actually, I think now I can just bend this direction. Yeah, that should clear any fans. Got one more piece of plastic sticking out back here. Let's see if I can just snip that off. Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna turn this thing upside down and shake it and get anything big out of there. And then take a can of duster to it. See, this piece fell out right here. Okay, now where's my duster? Here we go. Hopefully she boots. Okay. I'm pretty sure she'll boot. Man, I sure hope she boots. But my experience has been usually you screw something up like that, short out something on the board or something, and you usually don't fail to boot. You just have some sort of instability that might rear its head at some point, which sucks. But usually I think that's how it happens. Let's see here. Well, looks like it misses now. Okay. these. Noctua sent us these. I think these are for stacking multiple fans on top of each other. I think some like racks or something might have some type of system like that. But they work really good for this. If I can get this through. There we go. Okay, it's on tight. Cut the end of that off. Alright, well, I've got more. Oh, cool. And looks like this kit came with a splitter, 2 splitters, and extension cable, a splitter, and a resistor, or low noise adapter, which kind of sucks. I ordered all these the other day before I realized that every kit came with all that stuff. I've got 3 low noise adapters. I don't know why I got those, honestly. Maybe I thought these fans would be louder than they are. 3 more low noise adapters. Okay, I ordered 6. Am I stupid? And 9. I ordered 9. Look, did I really order 9? That's dumb. Okay. Well. Let's get this last. I don't know about last one. I want to. So I've got little holes back here that I can use to attach the bottom of the fans. Down here. And as of right now, it's holding the fans tight to the top. I kind of wouldn't mind drilling some holes in here though to attach them to the top. I mean, but you can't really push them any tighter. And the last thing I want to do is introduce a bunch of more metal shards by drilling into this thing. I guess maybe if I like held it upside down, and I'm not going to do it. It seems too dangerous. Maybe if I pull the motherboard out, but it's not super easy to do in this thing. Did it the other day trying to put this fan in. Oh yeah, so how I got this fan to mount. So like I said, this is the stock Intel. There's a stock Intel cooler, the regular stock mounting, distance and everything. But the standoffs are connected to the case in this thing. The way this Noctua cooler mounts, like a lot of coolers, there's a back plate with studs that come through, and then you've got spacers on that. Yeah, then you've got spacers and nuts to tighten it down. I could either there's like a second plate inside of the case, part of the chassis, where the standoffs are mounted to, and I couldn't like wrench them out of there or anything. They're in really good, so my only option was like cut them out. And I figured, if you cut them out, well, then you may be screwed in the future. Like if this didn't work, then I wouldn't be able to put the stock cooler back on. So what I took the AMD hardware, which comes with some screws and some spacers, and the screws are a little bit fatter, like thicker thread, just a different thread than the Intel screws, and those spacers were the perfect height that the shiny part on the standoffs on the back plate were. So I was like, hey, I think those spacers will work, and if I screw those screws in far enough, it'll be tight. And that's what I did. I mean, I had to make new threads, but it worked. Now, I might be able to. There might be enough thread still left to get the stock cooler back on, like down more than, you know, 1/8 of an inch. Because these screws didn't go in super far, but far enough to catch and tighten up all the way. So I ruined the threads at the top of the standoff, but maybe not all the way down. But hey, it's working. Yeah. Other than that, now I guess I just need to hook up this last fan. Kind of sucks. All my fan connectors are under here. Oh, another thing I had to do with this is Dell's got proprietary fan connectors, pulse width modulating 4-pin connectors on the board, so you can get an adapter on Amazon or whatever, and that's what I did. Just got an adapter for there's 2 standoffs on this board, or 2 headers on this board for fans, one for CPU, one for the case fan. I hooked these all up to the case fan and then put the CPU on its own. One thing that happens, since they're not the same fans and different wattages and stuff, you do get an error, you know, when it's posting. It's just fan error, but it still works fine. You just have to hit F1 or something when you're booting up. It has to be a wired in keyboard to do that. You can't do it with a wireless keyboard. So anytime this computer gets shut off in the living room, I have to make sure I got a wired keyboard handy, because we got just like a wireless keyboard that we use in there. It's just one of those remotes. It's pretty neat. It kind of works like a Wii. Like you flip it over, like one side's got a keyboard and a trackpad, and you know, you can type like that and then trackpad around and stuff. If you flip it over, you can use it like a Wii remote and move the mouse around the screen by moving the remote, and then there's a volume button on that side and stuff. It's really neat. It's pretty intuitive. It, you know, perfect for home theater PC, and that fits well, but not perfectly. It didn't click back into place. I wonder if I bent something or just didn't click it down good enough. Oh, that time it did. I just had to hit it a little bit harder. Yeah, this thing would be pretty cool with another hole over here, right about here. So here she is, the Noctua fans in the back. Be nice. I bet I could fit probably another 20 millimeter Noctua fan right here. Maybe 3, possibly. Or maybe I should just block that off to force all the air out this way. Or not, and leave it open. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's gonna pull the air through here and then recirculate it, and it's not gonna pull the hot air through the case, like through the GPU. Maybe I'll do some benchmarks, see what works best. But yeah, right now I've got this behind my TV, you can't see it. One thing I'm thinking about doing is putting it in my TV stand and cutting some holes in the back and putting like a few 140 millimeter fans back there. Maybe on like a fan controller. Might use something like you would put in a front bay back in the day and mount that in there or something. That'd be pretty neat. But yeah, I still need to figure out how. I guess I'm just gonna have to take all this apart, aren't I? Okay. And let me grab one of these splitters. Whoops. I wonder if I should two-way splitter this front fan and then run the 3-way splitter back here to this fan. That'd probably make the most amount of sense, honestly. So this, okay, one side of the two-way splitter, okay, and then this is the, what's what? Okay, right here. Okay, so here's that adapter cable. I'm gonna plug my two-way splitter into that adapter cable. Okay, and then this used to go to that fan. I'm gonna have to use this over here now, so I'm gonna reroute it. And then this, okay, like this. And then this is the three-way splitter right there. And this is the third side going to that fan. Okay, so coming out of the adapter cable, I got the two-way splitter going to the front fan, and then going to the three-way splitter, and then running back to these three fans. So now I'm just gonna get this out of the way a little bit. Run it between my RAM sticks like the other, well, if it wants to. Actually, maybe I can run this around my RAM sticks. Yeah, I think this will work. Sorry, you can't see everything I'm doing right now. Okay. Tighten that in there. Tighten this in here. Smash these wires up in the front. Well, if this goes in, then I can't complain too much. But it might not. Might hit something in the back. Yeah, I might be able to. Oh. Okay. What the hell? Am I hitting? How am I hitting the top of my RAM sticks? I didn't hit the top of my RAM before. Yeah, it's not clicked down all the way. Oh, huh. Yeah, that's crazy. This is not high profile RAM. I mean, it's not just bare RAM, just bare PCB, but it's, I mean, the sticks are, you know, I'll pop one out. You know, that's not high profile RAM, as you would call it. Click, click. Okay. Now I'm debating really hard whether or not I want to cut these brown dingies off there. Because if I do, I'm not going to be able to use them again, really. Like they're, like once this is in, it's in. And I don't see them hurting anything. It's not like you can see it. Maybe, yeah. You know, I'm gonna leave them like that. They're not hurting anything. If I end up cutting a hole up here and you can see them, then maybe I might cut them off, but I'd rather be able to reuse them. You know, function before form. Another thing that kind of sucks, this slim Blu-ray drive I got is ever so slightly, well enough that it makes a difference. It's like ultra slim. It's slimmer than the other one. I had just a standard slim DVD drive in there before. The new one is, well, here. Okay. Okay, so this is millimeters. Eight millimeters. Okay. The new one is 5. So this is 3 millimeters thicker. Yeah. So the new one is 3 millimeters thinner. It works in there. I had to use just a little bit of electric tape to keep it from kind of cocking sideways. Yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? So there's that gap. May be able to fill it in, or maybe drop it down and, you know, have the gap filled up half on either side. If I pull that down, you're still gonna see it. So, you know, it does its job. That does make me not want to stick it in my entertainment center now, though. But how often am I going to use Blu-ray? Maybe I'll just switch these back out. I don't know. I mean, I've got a Blu-ray player, so I don't need this for Blu-rays. And I've got a PlayStation 4, you know, so I don't need this for Blu-rays. And I've got a ton of Blu-rays ripped on my NAS that I can, you know, watch anywhere in my house. But so yeah, this is my Dell Optiplex 7020, all modified. The Noctua edition, I guess you could say. 80 mil Noctua fan, pulse width modulating. I don't know the whole model number. 3 40 mil, 40 by 20s. Yeah, I think I said you get the 40 by 10s also, which may have been better, but I'm not spending 50 more bucks on 3 more fans. And then the low profile, the thick low profile CPU cooler by Noctua. And then the Gigabyte 1050 twin fan, the GDDR6 version. I had to wait for this for a while because I knew the GDDR6, the benchmark's so much better than the GDDR5, which I have a Windforce ITX version of this, not the, it's also one that doesn't take external power, but it's not a low profile. This is like ITX. It's also dual slot. But I did cut I think actually this used to go, it went here in the packaging, and then there's another one that goes on here. I cut the end of it out and stuck it over this so that it doesn't short anything out when I mount it in there. But see what I'm talking about? The X4 slot and the X16 slot. I have a feeling that X16 slot might actually be, you know, only have 4 lanes going to it, because I stuck this in both slots. Well, I didn't stick it in this slot, but I used a riser card coming out of that slot, and it benchmarked the same. Like I said, some of the benchmarks were even better in the top slot. So. Come on, little fan wire. Okay. Modified Dell Optiplex. Gaming, home theater, PC. Kick ass. If I cut a hole in the side later, I'll show you.